Hello, welcome back to Where We Knit. I have a different format today for this video podcast. You see, I'm still filming at Dandelion Fiber Company, a local yarn store here in Minneapolis, but I have a very special guest I'd like you to meet. Welcome, Susie from Fiber Macgyver.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're gonna go through a couple questions that I have for Susie. We have a really unique meeting story. We met one another.
Origin story?
Origin story, rather, yes. And I am excited to share it with you. And we're gonna just go through a couple questions and talk about what's new with Fiber Macgyver. So I'm excited to learn and share a little bit about what I've learned about Fiber Macgyver over a handful of years. But first, I want to share, how did we meet? So you know how you're on Ravelry and you're trolling through and you're looking at all the beautiful projects that people have created? I found one that was, okay, tell the pattern. What's the pattern?
It's the Noctuidae Sweater by Catherine Clark.
Okay.
It's the one that sometimes people mistake it for butterflies, but it's a moth. Noctuidae is a moth.
Yes. Okay. So if you know that sweater, it's fabulous. If you don't know that sweater, look it up. But Susie had this prize version of it that I was so attracted to that I reached out to her on Ravelry to comment. Then we must have been talking back and forth and realized,
I think we were maybe chatting on Instagram or something, or some
perhaps
other,
we found one another on Instagram. Anyhow,
it's a blur. That's
it is a blur. And what was that? What year was that? That was.
It was. I think it was early 2020 or maybe 2019. Could it have
something? Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it blurs together.
Anyhow, I commented, we realized we're both from Minneapolis. I realized that she was a yarn dyer. And then I'm on a flight to Hartford, Connecticut on my way with some friends to Rhinebeck for the first time, my first trip to Rhinebeck, New York Sheep and Wool Festival. And we're masked because it was right after the pandemic. So we're masked. And I recognized her in the Hartford, Connecticut airport. And I was like, I didn't even know her name. I just said, "Are you Fiber Macgyver?" And she was like, "I am." And so anyway, we talked a little bit about what we were doing for the weekend. Are you going to Wool and Folk? Are you going to India Untangled? Are you going to Rhinebeck? All of that kind of stuff. And then that was kind of it, right?
Yeah.
And then we ran into one another at the events of the weekend. And then we started chatting more after that. So
the rest is history.
The rest is history. But I do have to say that on that flight, Susie steeked a sweater on the flight.
I did.
Like, I don't know very many people who have the confidence to steek a sweater, whether it's your first steek or not, which it wasn't your first steek.
No, it wasn't. But, I don't know if it was confidence or just, I just ran out of time and I really wanted to wear that sweater. So anyhow, I was like, why not?
I was like, I like this girl. She steeks on an airplane. So anyhow, and so we became fast friends after that. So I'm really excited to invite her into this new podcast, my new endeavor, to talk about Fiber Macgyver. So without further ado, tell us about Fiber Macgyver. How did you get started?
Well, Fiber Macgyver is a hand-dyed yarn company, and I got started actually during the pandemic. I've been a knitter since I was little. Actually, my mom had a yarn store here in a suburb called Edina. So it was years ago, and if you ask her, she'll say it was nothing like it is now. And I think she spent most of her time actually knitting custom sweaters for people.
Your mother?
For her business.
Okay.
So apparently I was asleep in the crib in the back. My sister actually, who's closest to me in age, it was before we had access to the COVID vaccine, and she got COVID and she got really sick and was in a local hospital here for weeks. And as you all probably remember, it was, we didn't know when we were going to hear from the doctor again. You know, one morning they would call and say, we think we're going to have to take her leg today. You know, she's alive. It was just really a stressful time. And I needed something to keep my mind off of it, and I couldn't sleep. So I was like, well, this is the time I need to start. I'm going to try dyeing yarn. And I just devoured everything I could find on it. And then I just started experimenting. I would only buy one little thing at a time to try it. Because, you know, as crafters, we know that it could be that we're, you know, do we really like this to invest more? You know, that's why I love knitting too, is you can try it and it's mobile and you don't have to spend a fortune to see if you like it. But so I just bought one little thing at a time, and the more time I spent doing it, the more I fell absolutely in love. And I mean, now when I am not in the dye studio for a couple of days, I miss it and I need to go back. So it's like that. I feel really fortunate that I found that. Yeah.
Good for you. Okay, but quick update. How's your sister?
My sister is doing well. I mean,
she recovered.
She survived, and she has lasting effects of COVID, and she's doing her best. Which she's very brave and amazing. And
sometimes she works different shows with you, or
not? That's a different sister.
Oh, it is.
But yes.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
have a few sisters.
Okay.
So
okay. Oh yeah, one of the many.
But no, this sister that I spoke about, she likes to help behind the scenes more.
Okay.
So
okay,
she's great at labeling yarn
and
telling.
outcome.
She tells a mean joke. Yeah, she keeps us entertained. So
well, I think that kind of you as well. So.
Well, good.
Okay.
Although I don't really have any. I don't think I have any jokes I should tell.
Probably not on YouTube.
Yeah.
But okay, so prior to that, what did you do? What was your work?
So prior to that, for my professional career, I was a director of an account management team at an ad agency locally here in town. And we also have quite a few kids. Okay. They're getting older now. So, so parenting and, you know, how it is. Just being a parent, you know, making everything work and coordinating and job and stress and all that.
But Fiber Macgyver has really evolved over these last several years.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, like, okay, so if you don't know Fiber Macgyver, if you don't know her yarn and her whole scene, she has a camper. And the camper's name is Madge. And you can see some of this on her Instagram. Madge was purchased.
Actually, she's a year old this month.
Okay, and tell us, how did you decide? Because the cool thing about Madge is that she travels with you, and she's kind of part of the business, right? Because people see you at a show, you open it up. I'll put a picture up here so you can kind of see how it works. And so you can travel cross country in her, and you can do some kind of marketing with her. And these cute little, like, I'll show them at the very end. I'll grab them, these cute little needle stoppers, or I'll put a picture of them up here of Madge. But it's a beautiful
Isn't that was meant to be.
Okay, those are
awesome.
Yeah. So tell us how Madge evolved with your biz.
So Madge is I don't know how I came up with the name, but it stuck, and I have to remember to say Madge the camper sometimes, because sometimes people are like, who is Madge? I haven't met her or him or whatever. You know, they don't know what I'm talking about. So So Madge is a 13.5-foot camper, very small. It's a new camper, but it's fiberglass, and they've made it look like it's retro. So she's teal on, like, a bluish tealish aqua.
She looks retro.
Yeah, she's pretty retro. So I've never been a camper owner. We've always, you know, living in Minnesota, we've had a cabin, but I haven't ever been in the camper life. And I happened to see I think it was on Instagram. And so it had been like, I think 4 years that I was like following and just seeing the progression, like the evolution of the company and what some of the other owners were saying. And my girlfriend, dearest friend, her name is Michelle. She now lives in Carlsbad, California. But we always joked that when our kids are older, we're going to sell yarn out of a camper or like some sort of, we're just going to live that life. Flip-flops, you know, no stress.
So
just
the joke
like
came your
roam
life.
around.
It became
yeah.
your life.
Yeah. So she's like, of course, you spoke it into existence. So I'm a little early because we're not empty nesters yet. I'm closer than she is. But what I think has been so great that I didn't anticipate was there are some physical aspects of owning a camper that it's hard sometimes. Like just moving things, like backing her up. As many of you probably know, a smaller camper is harder to manage when you're reversing than a bigger one because they'll jackknife really quickly. And so you have to be, you know, really, and you know, it's like,
practice.
You get like stage fright when everyone's watching.
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Like,
It's like parallel parking in the city.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but she essentially, she's part of the vision of just living the life that I want to live. And
I love that.
Yeah. And it's, you know, you can imagine that's a bit of a like, not a super necessity. I didn't need Madge to have a yarn business.
But it is attractive.
But yes, and also there's some freedom in it too because I can sleep in Madge when I'm traveling to a show, and she has a dry flushing toilet, which everyone seems to be super impressed with.
I'm impressed with
yeah.
it. I saw how it works.
It's
crazy.
pretty cool because that also gives you freedom, right? And
Yes.
there's a little solar panel, so you have the ability to be off grid. So it's just to me, it's the same vibe as knitting. Like knitters love it because that's like just sitting there and relaxing and finding somewhere nice outside to sit and knit. And you know, knitting is mobile and Madge helps me be mobile. So
I love it. I love it so much. I'm crazy about it.
Yeah, well, good. Well, we'll have to just find a time where we can just. Sometimes I've had pop-ups and I make sure that Madge is ready for just to have people sit and knit in her.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I do. Should I share you one of my ideas that I?
Yes.
Because you might be able to help me make it come true. I have this idea that, you know, I think we all have those big givers in our lives, like the people that are constantly there for others and like really like the one that is you can lean on. But sometimes lately, especially I've been thinking about like, how about those people? Like, how could we show them
appreciation?
Yeah, some sort of appreciation or thank you. And there are a lot of knitters out there like that. And so I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I got a bunch of friends together and they plotted to have a special day for this person, this fiber enthusiast that's happens to be an amazing giver in their lives, and then we just like surprised them with Madge, and Madge was like the store, and they could have like a shopping spree, but Madge could be like at their driveway or something.
How cute.
Wouldn't that be so
I love
cool?
that idea.
And then the friends could be there too, and they can sit and knit, and I could like give them, you know, if they want a coffee or a lemonade or whatever, they could just sit and hang out. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
So
I want to do it.
That's my idea.
Okay, now I'm like thinking,
yeah,
oh my gosh,
it's
when
in
can
the
I do that? I wanna do
brainstorming.
that.
Yeah, but it's I think it's a really good idea, and I feel like it would be so fun. You know how when you have a surprise for someone, it's so much fun the anticipation of the surprise.
Well, and the planning.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I love that. Oh, that's such a cute idea. I love it. Let's talk about your yarn. So Dandelion Fiber Company here, where we're sitting, carries a couple of your bases. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk
about.
And
they've been doing really well.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think we kicked it off when we did a knit along this winter, and we were able to carry your Surrey, your Surrey alpaca.
Yeah.
So it's a lace weight. You pair it with a fingering. If you don't know the Lento Sweater, I will put the link for the pattern in the show notes. It is an addicting pattern. It's fast. It's very size inclusive. It's a large needle. Like, you can't go wrong with it.
It's also a great
gift.
sweater.
It would be a good gift. it would be a great first sweater. But this Suzie is like butter.
Yeah.
I always, that's what I always say when I feel yarn that just feels like, it would just feel like butter on your body, which to me, they feel great because I love the taste of butter. But anyway, I digress. So let's talk about some colors that I don't know how well they're going to show on the camera, but I'm going to show them to you anyway because I think they are pretty awesome. I mean, your eye for color is just amazing, and I'm so gravitated towards so many different colors of your yarn. So this one, tell us a little bit about this one. This is Suzie silk, and I'm going to show you 3 different colors that we carry here at the store, but I bet we carry about 12?
Yeah, 12 to 16 now.
Different colors, and it is a fast seller here at Dandelion Fiber Company.
So I have a green that's lighter than this called Oscar that some of you may be familiar with, but
Oscar
this
Crouch.
is called marine green, and it's called marine green instead of military or army green because my husband is a former Marine, and so he was like, you have to make it rain green instead of army green.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
But
you
it
can
is,
see it.
it is really very saturated. It's gorgeous.
It
I
is
feel
so
like this is
gorgeous.
a neutral color. Like,
Yeah,
it could
it's
be a
amazing.
neutral.
Yeah, it's a beautiful green. And if you like green, yeah. Okay, very contrasted. Let's look at this one. Tell us about this one.
That is creamsicle. It's a really popular color. It's a two dip. It's a double dip.
You can see it because it's a little pink. It's a little bit orange. Oh my gosh. I'm into this pink and orange thing this summer. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, oh, I can't get enough.
Yeah.
And then this one, like, this is if you ever go look at holiday lights, we do that here in Minnesota. And you see those lights that almost hurt your eyes when you're looking at it. That's what this reminds me of.
I mean, this one could be a neutral too, depending on your vibe. No, I really do. I love to use like unexpected colors as the background, and I think this has some strong potential to be a background color.
This is
just me.
This is just something I can't stand it.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Suzie silk is what we carry here at the store, and then we also carry some of the Merino twist. Now, you saw, I think, in my first or second episode, I highlighted this color, which is I was making those Turkish bed socks, the Concord, something. Anyway, I think it was the Concord slippers, but this is the color that I used, and I will link these in the show notes. But I just wanted to show just like how great your all the little sprinkles of color in your yarn. Like I can't get enough of it.
It took a little bit to figure out how to keep those speckles crisp, but I've got it down now. So
I called it sprinkles. You call it speckles.
Oh yeah. So
Sprinkles,
this is the reason why is because this colorway is sprinkles.
Oh, it's called sprinkles. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about. So those are the 2 bases that we carry here in the store, but you have so many different bases, and there's so many questions that I have about your color inspiration. Tell us some of your best-selling yarn that wouldn't be here at this store, but maybe on your website.
Well, by far, hands down, my heavy sport is a very versatile weight because DK patterns are really popular right now, and that I love that base because it has some stretch, and you can swing it really easily to a sport or a DK pattern. I think people are attracted to it too because it takes the dye like a dream. I mean, the speckle is really crisp. It's gorgeous, and it's 274 yards. It's 100% merino, so it's a very versatile yarn. I actually lately I've been knitting it on. I'm a little bit of a loose knitter, so I've done it on a 2.5. So if you were if you lean more on the tight, you could do like a 3 or a 4, and it's lovely. It's a nice. It has a little bit of a nice weight, tiny bit of sheen. but nothing like silk.
Can we talk about that amazing cowl that you are knitting?
Oh,
Although
sure.
that's not the sport, that's
Yeah,
the DK.
this is a DK. So I also have a DK weight.
Okay.
So that's the traditional like 246 yards. I actually have it. Would you like me to show it?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is, and I'm not, I have to, I always have to like find time when I'm doing the Kitchener stitch. Maybe y'all are the same, but if I have like more than like 50 or I have to do, I need my own like time, like quiet time. And I like to do it in one sitting.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise I tend to get a little off. So I just can't, that's why I'm sitting here ready to do it. But this is called the Betty Cowl.
Okay.
And a very popular designer. Her first name is Margaret. I'm sorry, Margaret, I forget your last name.
We'll put your name in the show notes.
Yes, and exactly. She's out of Wisconsin, and this is called the Betty Cowl, and the inspiration was the like an 80s ski chalet, which I think she nailed.
Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, I was like, I want to be an 80s ski chalet bunny or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
Like, so you can see like it's got some.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. And how many different colors did you use in that?
So I think this is the 7 minis. Now, if you didn't want it as big, you wouldn't have to use that many minis. The minis are 49 yards each.
So you have DK minis.
Yes.
Okay.
DK minis, I have sport minis, and I have fingering minis.
Okay. And we can find that on your website. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I was just, if that look I was giving you was a little like, what is she looking at me like that for? It's because I was trying to decide if I should say that I very soon will have series silk lace weight minis.
Oh.
I haven't told anyone that, so there you go.
Oh, I guess we're sharing it.
I guess I'm a big mouth.
Okay.
Is what that is.
I guess we're sharing it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about where you get your color inspiration.
So, I think I hope this isn't too boring, but I get it like in the simple, small moments. Often, like lately, like I'm off camera, there's some colors happening over yonder, and I'm like, yep, it's literally like in my head. Sometimes it's tile, sometimes it's like a shirt someone's wearing.
So then do you like take a photo and then you go back into your dye studio and you're like, okay, I'm gonna put these colors together because I saw it over yonder and I'm really like that vibe, so I'm gonna try it.
Sometimes I take a picture. It's usually a picture is more important when I'm collaborating with someone and they have something in their mind. I hope this doesn't sound, too out there, but the colors in my head after I see it.
That's okay. I mean, that's an artist. There's artistry.
There's so many in my head. I have to get them out. I'm not kidding. That's part of it.
Okay.
Because one color can send me on I call it a riff. I actually Googled that. I don't think that I'm making that word up, but
I like that.
I just will play in the dye studio.
Okay.
And sometimes it becomes a whole collection, and sometimes it's, like a pairing or a fade, but it's in my process personally, I need the days where no one's expecting me to call them back. I don't have to turn off my music.
And that's when you play with color.
And it's the days where I'm like, I can't believe that 8 hours have passed. And usually my husband's like, do you need some food or water?
He's coming to your rescue.
Yeah.
So, okay, so say you're playing with colors and all of a sudden you're like, yep, I made it with this. So then you quick write down what you did?
You
have like a little
I've learned from
book?
Experience. I write down as I go. I
can't
you do?
Wait. Okay.
So,
okay.
So I have some waterproof paper that I actually got on Amazon. I could send you the link if you think anyone's going to be interested.
You might want waterproof paper.
Yeah, there's also a pen that I use with it. The reason for that is because I have my hands wet or they have gloves on, so I'll use that. And then I actually just created a template now where it actually has a lot of the items that I can just circle, because I will get really busy in the moment and I need to write it all down. But so I just have a worksheet, and then I keep it in a a clear, like there's I think teachers use them a lot, those,
yes.
what are they called? The
Sheet
paper
protectors.
protector. Yeah, sheet protector.
Sheet protectors.
I know that
Teachers
because my
love-
sister's a teacher. My sister
Well,
Ann is a
laminating
teacher.
and sheet protectors.
So
Yes.
my sister Ann is a teacher as well, and she likes to come over every once in a while and organize
Yes.
Fiber Macgyver. Thank God, because
Oh.
she is so good.
Yes. I have
She's
someone in my life like that
amazing.
too. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You're not like that. You seem like you'd be like super organized.
I am organized on specific levels of my house. Like I live my life on Post-its. I love a good checklist. And that's
Do you
why
check them off, or do you throw it, or
I
what
do.
do you do? Okay.
And I put them in notes on my phone, and I check it off, and that's the way I do it. I mean, so there are elements of my life that I'm very, very, very methodical and very organized. But then I have an assistant at work who is like my right hand, and she
finishes your thoughts for you.
She finishes my thoughts. I could not do my job without her. So like we have this pact that if I leave, she leaves, because we don't function without one another. And so I'm so grateful for her. I couldn't
what's
do my
her
job
name?
without her. Name is Chris.
Hi, Chris.
She's watching. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about couple other things, and then we're going to move on to favorite things, because in my podcast you know that we always talk about my favorite things, but today I'm only going to do one, and Susie's going to share a few of her favorite things, because that's what I love. And we're not being endorsed by anyone, we're just sharing our favorite things. So let's finish up and talk about like how has your yarn dyeing business like evolved? Like how has it changed from a couple years ago when you started to now? And I also want to know what has been the most challenging before we get to the last two questions, which are my favorite and super playful.
Okay, let's see if I can answer both questions. Yes.
Okay.
So the first one was,
how has Fiber Macgyver evolved? Like where are you today?
Well, it seems, every season, but especially every year is very different. You could even argue it's like a different business, which I feel is a good thing. It's, assessing what worked, what didn't.
Becoming more efficient.
Yes.
Yes.
And also too, just really having those moments of how am I doing? Is this the vision I wanted? Is this like what I want? It sounds so simple, but just stopping and having a moment to think of what do I want? Because I haven't always done that. I'm such a doer and a parent and, employee, and it's really like a challenge for me sometimes to stop and really look at that, and then have my
I think that's really insightful. I mean, I think we almost kind of need to do that about our lives too, but not just if we are business creators and owners.
Right.
So with that said, let's talk about something that I have to mention about this fall. And it can be challenging to plan for, but it's super exciting. Do you want to share about?
Yes. So one of the part of the evolution of Fiber Macgyver was, at first I was mainly wholesale, and I went to H&H, which is a trade show in Chicago, and had the best time. It was such a great way to officially launch Fiber Macgyver. And so that first year really was fulfilling those orders and making sure that my processes were in like efficient enough, and the quality control, all of those things. And then this year, as there's been more of a focus on seeing people, like actually events where I get to see all the knitters and talk with them, and it's really, I love it.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
I would love that.
I would do it every day if I could.
Yes.
And it's so neat because my sister, her name's Ann, she's the teacher. She's been at a few of the shows, and she will take notes while she's like, if she's just having a moment, she's watching, she'll take notes like, this is what this person said when they were in your booth, and you did this,
so
and she'll take
insightful.
pictures of me. Yeah, it's so nice. And she's just like, this is where you shine. You're so Like she's like, I can just tell that you could talk everyone's ear off about yarn forever. So
Yes.
so it's really been lovely, and just it helps. I'm traveling more with Madge and seeing everyone. But part of the challenge of that is that a lot of these fiber festivals they're full. So you have to look a year in advance, and then you have to apply for them.
Well, I see that you
And-
have to apply, and I
Yes,
think it's hard to
it
get
is.
in.
It is, and
But-
then you don't know how many to apply for because you don't know how many you're going to get into. So there were most of the ones I applied for this year I didn't get in. Like the local ones, amazing. Everyone has been so amazing, and
Yes.
which is so lovely, right? But there are some that some states haven't heard of me, or
Yep.
for whatever reason, right? They're full. But so on a whim, I applied, and I don't even know if I told anyone because I was
Certainly, I had no idea. But
And so I applied for the New York State Sheep and Wool. So arguably one of, if not the largest wool festival in the United
US?
States.
I don't know if it is or not.
Well, maybe someone, if we're incorrect, someone will let us
someone
know.
will let
but
us know.
It sure feels like it when I've been there.
Me too.
Yeah, it's
I've
amazing.
been twice, and I'm so proud of you. Like, this is so
Thank you. So
exciting.
yes, so I
She's going to New
applied
York, she's
and I
going
got in
She's
the
going to New
first
York.
time I tried. And so what's great, I was just so excited, and then I started telling people, and then sometimes when I tell people, they look like scared for me. And,
Like-
and then I'm like, whoa, should I be scared? I don't really approach life like, I just, we're just gonna do it. And I am really excited. And I have some new yarns that I'll debut there. And so I'm auditioning them, but the goal was to, the yarns that I've chosen are yarns that I choose to use, right? Like I make sure that I've dyed with them. So in that aspect, I can live with the yarn, and it's taking the dye wonderfully and holding up well. And then also like that I want to knit with it.
Yes.
Like, it's what I pick.
Yes.
Because I think that's really important, because
Of course.
I've always been
You're
a knitter first.
yourself. Yeah.
Yes. So that's
take
what
it for
I'm
a
doing.
test run.
Yes, I'm
Test
taking
drive.
all of these yarns for test runs, and they'll be yarns from United States ranchers. So that's the goal.
Okay, that's so great.
It is. It's really neat.
Made in the U.S.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that
that's
will happen.
fantastic.
Mhm.
Okay.
So if you're on the edge, like is this the year maybe to go? I mean, I'd say yes, because
Just do it. Now, I am not going
Yeah.
this year because I went last year. It's an every other year thing for me, if that. And I'm going to Sacred Sheep
Yes.
in November. So actually, we're going together.
Yes,
We're
gonna-
going to
yeah.
Sacred Sheep together. So you'll see more yarny goodness about that later. But okay, well, she's taking these yarns on an interview. Like, did you say you're interviewing them?
I'm
Did we say
auditioning them. Yeah.
auditioning. That's the word I was looking for. So
Yes.
she's auditioning.
I'm spending
new
some quality
yarns,
time,
Some
yeah.
quality time. Okay, last two questions, and then we're gonna get started on to, because I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of juice of my phone here, which is my camera. But
Shocker
okay,
with me
so
here.
two almost the most important, like, playful, fun questions. If you could meet anyone for coffee, I'm talking about the fiber industry, who would you choose? Okay, two things though. We're gonna do coffee and belly up to the bar for a beer. If you were gonna choose someone that you'd like to just sit down and have coffee with and talk about your biz, who would it be?
Can I say two?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yep, no rules.
So these are two people mainly because they've influenced me. Like, I've watched their careers and and admire them from afar. And I haven't met either one of these people.
Okay.
But the first one is Susan B. Anderson, which
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Yep.
just prolific career in the industry, and she also does some quilts and she sews, and I'd love to
Which
do
we
that.
both do.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I love to do too. So, and she just seems like a very genuine, lovely human being. So that person, and then
Okay.
also Linda, and I don't know her last name. Linda, the founder of Blue Sky Alpaca, which actually is Blue Sky Fibers now. But since we grew up in Minnesota, I grew up with that yarn, and I knew that she started out, I believe, as a a multi-surface design, graphic designer,
Okay.
or multimedia designer.
Okay.
And then she lived in my area, which is a northern suburb, and had a few alpaca. And so anyway, her business evolved to be this amazing giant
huge
yarn brand.
Okay, awesome. So those two good choices.
Thank you.
Very good
Thank
choices. Okay, so if you were gonna belly up to the bar and have a beer with somebody who in the yarn biz, who would it be?
So belly up is more than one beer, right?
For sure.
Or whatever
well,
we
it
pick.
can be whatever
It's
you
a
want
full
it to
bar.
be. But oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it doesn't
all right.
have to be a beer. I mean, if beer's not
Okay.
your liquor of choice, if that is your
I like beer once in a while, but I was thinking the person that I'm going to say might not be a beer person.
Okay.
She might be more champagne.
Oh, okay.
But I would hands down pick Millie from Tribe Yarns. She's
Oh, yes.
now in Scotland.
Oh,
right?
she's in
I think she
Scotland.
moved her.
Went from
her
London
store
to
to
Scotland.
Scotland.
Okay. Yes.
She is
We'll
so
link her. We'll link her
creative and
Instagram
amazing.
and her info in the show notes.
Yeah, she's just.
How long have you been following her and admired her work?
I mean, I guess I don't even remember.
Are you fangirling her?
I'm so fangirling her. I probably like start. I'm kind of blushing right now, even talking about her. Oh, it's so silly, but she's so good.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna check her out. You should
Yeah.
check her out too. Okay, so let's move on to thank you
Yeah,
for
thanks.
answering all my questions.
In case I forget after we
Yes.
do, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming up to me at that little quiet airport and
Yes.
introducing yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Even
Isn't
though
that cool?
even though your friend said you were a little awkward when you
Well,
were talking
yeah,
to me.
after I met her, so they walked away. She and her friends walked away, and my girlfriend was like, yeah, we're going to have to work on that. You were a little awkward. Yep,
It's okay.
that's me.
It's okay. I'm a little awkward on this, but I don't know. I'm putting myself out there.
Yeah,
and
hey, you're
being
doing a great
courageous,
job.
So, well, thanks.
Right on.
Okay. All right. So one of my favorite things today, and if I wouldn't have mentioned it here with Susie here, I would have mentioned it in later weeks because this truly is my favorite colorway all time of yarns. And although I don't knit with a lot of like speckled and variegated yarns, this, I can't, like, I literally can't stand it. First of all, I do love your pink and orange, like your pink and orange.
I like you.
I like
Yep.
you. Okay, I like that. We don't have it here to show, but check it out on her website. But this, we carry this here at Fiber Macgyver, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need that. And this, not only do I love the colorway, but I love the name of it, and it's called Pool Party, which I love. Like, look at this color. Are you kidding
I
me?
discovered a new technique, new to me technique when I did that. And
Yes.
so there's some layering happening, but
Yeah, this is
Thank you.
phenomenal.
I love that
so
one too.
I am gonna knit myself a pair of socks with this. So this is my favorite thing. Now,
oh, that's nice.
It's my
Thank
favorite
you.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
what you pick.
that's
oh,
my
right
pick
on.
for the week. Yep.
Oh, thank you.
And you know that if you watch my other 3 podcasts that I don't always talk about yarny stuff, but I told Susie in preparation for this interview sort of podcast, video podcast, I was asking her, what are your favorite things?
So I have a couple favorite things that are like more like maintenance for me, like
Okay.
just to keep me knitting and like doing that. I probably could have brought like a whole bundle.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
But I just brought 2.
I
so
know
can
people are
share.
asking me, are you really going to do 3 every single week? And I'm sure going to try because
Yeah.
I have a lot of favorite things.
All right, if you run out of ideas, I have a few.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so one of my favorite things that I use a ton, and I need to order more, is this Utopia. It's the penetrating recovery balm. So it's lanolin, sheep lanolin.
Okay, we'll put it in the
It's
show
amazing,
notes.
and
Okay.
she vends at New York Sheep and Wool,
Yes,
but
she
she's
does.
also online. She's
And
amazing.
if you go to New York Sheep and Wool, and she vends there, and it is a mob scene. It is literally
it
a
is.
mob scene when you go to her booth because
Yep.
there are people like 5 people thick to get in there. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can get it online, maybe you get it online because here you're hearing
Yep.
a testament that it's great stuff. So
This is the funny story is I didn't realize that when you're a camper owner, you should always travel with WD-40. And my the ball
On your hitch?
Yeah, that's with my hitch. I can't remember. See, I don't know, but it got stuck. It was like so we needed WD-40. I didn't
I'm sure
have
there's
any.
a word for that.
Yeah.
A camper word. Yeah. Shoot. Oh,
I
well.
had
We
it
don't
at
know
one
it.
point in my brain. But, so I didn't have anything else. So I used this and it worked. Because I didn't have a signal.
Multi-purpose.
We barely had a signal. We were asking Mary Beth, a friend who was here, her husband who is a farmer, and he's like, you need WD-40. Well, then we were kind of patchy in and out. So we tried this and it worked. So there you go. That was cool.
Multi-purpose.
That's a cool
Okay,
story.
so that's a good, those are good stories of why it's your favorite thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And I put that on my feet, on my hands. Like it's really good for your hands.
For everything.
Yeah, you know how, because if it gets on your yarn, you don't care. It's
Yeah, because it's
lanolin.
lanolin. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to try that because I've mentioned several times in this podcast how dry my hands get because I wash my hands all the time at work.
Well, also you're touching fiber, which takes the
Yes.
oils too, right?
Yeah, okay, great. All right.
So there you go. There's that. I love it. And then the next thing is another rub on. But this is
More rubs.
This is actually just recent. I found this. My mom's really dear friend has cancer, and so she has a lot of aches and pains. And so this is from Lazarus Naturals, but it's the Relief and Recovery. It's a CBD balm stick, but
Okay,
I'm not real big on like having a bunch of those products and stuff to like put on and for
Potions?
This
Okay.
So I used it. I had a really
Relief
my
and
shoulder
recovery.
was bad, and I
Yeah.
put it on my shoulder. And I could not believe it. It really does work. Like
That's amazing.
If you have a sore shoulder or knee
Oh,
or ankle.
I have had a really mean case of tennis elbow
Oh.
from knitting with silk and cotton this summer.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, okay, we'll put it in
So
the show
you
notes.
can try this. Yeah, you can.
I'm gonna try it because I have woke up in the night because of pain in my arm, but I am going to the chiropractor and talking about because he called me a knitlead.
What?
So like instead of an athlete, he called me a knitlead. He's like, can't you
That's
just
cute.
take like 3 weeks off? I'm like, no, I can't. Like I'm teaching for this class. Okay, just side note.
That's an
there's like
unreasonable request.
there's like an amazing thunderstorm happening
Yeah, it's
behind
really
this
pretty,
camera.
actually.
It is really pretty, but I don't know. I'm hoping that you
Yeah,
can't
if
hear all
you
the
hear it,
thunder
you
and
know,
lightning.
yeah.
But whatever, it is what it is. It's nature, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, so he calls me a knitlead.
That's
And he's
very
like,
good.
okay, well, we're gonna treat your joints like you're maybe training for a marathon or something. And I'm like, okay, marathons of knitting, whatever you want to call it. But anyway,
We do those.
I know, right? So
Absolutely.
I can't stop because this
This
like
is for
part
joints
Of,
and muscles, so
Okay.
that it's supposed
Okay.
to work on your.
okay, I'm doing it.
I had a sore neck. You know how sometimes you sleep and you get a kink.
Yeah,
It works.
there you go.
Yep.
Okay, I'm all about it. I'm gonna try those favorite things. Okay, anything like parting words that you want to share with the viewers?
I think
Anything-
just
anything?
thank you. I mean,
Of course.
thanks for having me.
You're
and
welcome.
thanks to everyone for watching and just
Yes.
showing an interest in like buying the yarn. I mean, it's so trippy. It's so great.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So thank you.
And then you will see Susie on some B-roll and some other things when we go to Sacred Sheep in Portland, Oregon on November 1st and 2nd. So
I could be your camera person.
You could.
Yeah, I'm.
Okay.
When I was in college, I did. I wasn't very good at the sports games. I did football, like with camera work.
What about
for
for a knit
football? I got you. I think
Okay.
I could do that.
Okay. All right. You will see her back. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you click subscribe. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.